couple days ago, I'm talking to a buddy who used to ride, and he asked me how the whole motovlog thing is going. We haven't seen each other in a while, and he says, I saw everybody was getting mad at Yammie Noob because he fired some guy's Spite. What's that all about? I wanted to share that I don't think Yam's the good guy, but I don't necessarily think he's the bad guy either. Even if he was the bad guy, like, I would love to be his next victim, and as soon as I say that, I instantly regret it because it sounds like some kind of weird kinky thing, but just hear me out. I think Spite got a great deal. Just try not to rage quit until you let me explain. To make a very long story short, for context, for the people who don't know the background story, Yammie Noob is a very popular motorcycle content creator on YouTube. He has over 1 million subscribers. He's turned his channel into a full-on, even offline business with a retail location. They ship all kinds of goodies and stuff. He's done motorcycle giveaways, you name it, the guy has done it all. One of the people who was very fundamental to his channel's growth was this guy Spite, who became super popular with Yammie Noob subscribers, and everything was all good until one day Yammie Noob did a heel turn and became Bad Guy Yam, and Bad Guy Yam not only fired Spite, but he also did sort of an exit interview, which was recorded and then uploaded to YouTube, which was very cringe. Obviously, this ended up being a really bad look for Yam, and it ended up gaining a bunch of sympathy for Spite, because who doesn't feel for a guy who just got canned and is now being recorded? That's weird. I just want to say, before anybody accuses me of being some kind of robot with no feelings, I've been let go of 2 different jobs. I get that it absolutely sucks. My first job ever, as like my grown-up job out of school, was in the motorcycle industry. I was let go. That was very sad and very bad. I'm glad no one was there filming me. I get that it sucks. I'm not a robot. I got feelings too. Hear me out and you'll see where I'm getting with all this. A lot of motovloggers put a lot of hours into their channels, doing a lot of trial and error. And I'm not saying this for me. We all have been in a position where we put hours into a video and we upload it and we're like, this is it. Like, this is my best video ever. And you get like 21 views. I think everyone who's been doing this can totally agree that that's the way it goes. What I'm getting at is, how often does someone come up to you and say, come work for me? I am one of the most successful people at what I do. I will show you how to run my business. I'll teach you all of the strategies that I've learned. I'll teach you all the tactics that I use. I will pay you to learn all this. I will show you how to do what is to many people a dream job. I will work with you one-on-one. I'll pay you all along the way. And before I let you go, I will ask my 1 million subscribers to all go and follow your channel. Are we, as a community of motovloggers, really gonna jump up on our high horses of moral superiority and say that a lot of us wouldn't take that deal? That sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me. As someone who's been let go, I get how much it sucks, like I said, but I'm also super envious of the deal that he got. It sounds pretty sweet. Spite's channel exploded from, I think, just like several thousand before he was canned to 50,000 subscribers in a matter of days. At that point, you don't need a boss. You don't need a job. It's hard for me to feel too bad when I wish I had had that opportunity. And I know that many motovloggers probably feel the same. They just won't admit it in public, but I will, because I don't care. Months later now, Spite is at over 100,000 subscribers, and good for him, honestly. He never has to have a boss. He never has to have a job. I think he's better off than he was before he started. Way better off, and that's thanks to the bad guy. If you want to know how much YouTube motorcycle channels make, I have a video already on how much my channel made in 2021 when I went from 2,500 subscribers to 5,000 subscribers. You can check that out. I'll probably link to it at the end of this video. Next week, I'm putting out a video on how much my channel made in 2022, where I went from 5K subs to 10K. Hit subscribe if you want to see that, obviously. I want to just kind of ask the question of, did Spite really get shafted, or did he get paid training from somebody who's one of the best in his domain? And if that's the case, did he really get screwed, or did he get lucky? Food for thought, right? Now, could Yam have handled things better? Yeah, absolutely. Was this a bad look for Yam? Yeah, absolutely. Do I feel bad for Spite losing his job? Oh, hold on, because I feel bad for how he felt at the time, how he must have felt, I'm just assuming. I feel bad that he had to have that exit interview thing uploaded. I feel bad for that. I don't feel bad for the guy losing his job, because I think anybody who understands how YouTube audiences are, right away, when you knew that happened, you knew he's gonna explode. And sure enough, he did. You had to know things were only gonna be on the up and up for this guy from that point on. The reality is, Spite's part is only half the story. The other half is what happens to Yammie Noob, and that's kind of interesting. A lot of people rage quit from his channel. They took a Bible and they took an oath and put their hand on the Bible and said, I swear to God that I will never watch another Yammie Noob video again, because he is Satan and all that bad, terrible stuff. It was really interesting, and sure enough, his views did start to tank. But again, the reality for people who look at YouTube a lot more closely is we know that motorcycle content is very cyclical on YouTube. So your views in the fall and winter, which is kind of when this happened, are roughly about half of what they were in spring and summer. And sure enough, Yam's back on the upswing again. Speaking of random YouTube nerd shit, there are only 114 million channels with over 10,000 subscribers. So that's where I am with my little channel that makes videos that help motorcyclists. A channel like Yammie Noob, which is freaking huge and monstrous, and I'm like a speck of the dot, there are only 32,000 million subscriber channels. Of those 32,000, the vast majority are owned by corporations, not by a single Yammie dude. Think about that. That's a percentage of a percentage of a percentage of a percentage. That's absolutely insane. None of us have been in that position, and I'm sure not many of us, or none of us can imagine being in the position that Yam's in, let alone being in that position and not fucking up somewhere along the way. That's just, you're gonna make mistakes. That doesn't really justify turning someone's exit interview into a video, but I'm a business owner. I have a one-person business, and even I make mistakes. I've made a whole video sharing my mistakes. I'm very open and honest about this stuff. And in that same spirit of honesty, let's be real. No one taught Yam, no one's paid him to learn it. He's had to figure it out the hard way, like all of the rest of us motovloggers do. And I feel like we're not, as a community, respecting that enough. Even if you don't respect the guy, you kind of have to respect the work that he's put in. But Spike did get paid to learn the answers. And that's a position that many of us haven't been in, and that's a pretty sweet deal. We shouldn't discredit what he felt at that time, but we also shouldn't feel angry or upset or bothered that he got fired either, because you had to know it was gonna work out really well for him. When stuff like this happens in life, you can either focus on the negative or you can focus on the positive. And wherever you put your mind's focus, that's where your energy goes. Your energy either goes to the positive side or the negative side, and that's what's gonna screw your whole day up or set you off in the right direction. And I just hope, for Spike's sake, he's just been focused on the positive, because that means he's got nothing but good trails ahead of him. I wanna know what you guys' thoughts are on this, please. Did Spike get screwed, or did he win the lottery? Is Yammie Noob the evil dark lord that so many motovloggers have made him out to be? Or is he just a guy who's figuring it out and occasionally fucks up like all the rest of us do? Love to hear what you have to say. Again, my next video will be on how much money my channel made in 2022 from 5K subs to 10K subs. If you're into that, hit subscribe, and I'll see y'all next week. If not, thanks for watching. Ride safe, but have fun. Peace.